Hello, Marie here. Roses are such a beautiful addition to the garden. This is New Dawn Rose, a climbing rose, which is in the Rose Hall of Fame. With my many years of working with roses, I have found that certain roses, they are just healthy and vigorous and overall easy to work with, New Dawn being one of them. And other roses, I found that the problem wasn't me with that particular rose that just didn't work. The problem was the actual rose. So certain roses, they're the problem. It's not the gardener. And so it's so important to pick roses that have a history of being wonderful roses. You can do research online and find out about a rose before you buy that actual rose. There's a website called Help Me Find, and that's the one I like to go to, Help Me Find. And they have a number of different roses and ratings for those roses. Here's another New Dawn rose on this fence. Just lovely. Here are the New Dawn roses in my north garden, and I find that this rose does great in a north garden with part shade. And the bumblebees just love it. The iceberg rose is another rose that does well in part shade. This one I just planted maybe a year ago, so it's still small. And I believe it's also in the Rose Hall of Fame. This is my crocus rose. There are two of them here. David Austin. I pruned them back. But talk about beautiful roses. These two are just outstanding. I planted them right next to each other, so they actually look like one large rose. When you're training climbing roses, you want the canes, that main structure, to be at 45 degrees to horizontal. If those canes are at 45 degrees to horizontal, there's two main canes you can see there, which are large. Then those laterals will shoot off with blooms. So that's the ticket. Be sure to avoid pruning the main cane. This rose actually has just one major cane. So you want to avoid pruning the main canes, but you can prune the laterals as much as you like. This is a Sally Holmes rose. That is my favorite rose ever. I just moved this from the North Garden, so it's small and it has to adjust. But what a spectacular rose, which is also in the Rose Hall of Fame. It can be trained as a climber and also as a shrub. Here in my front garden, the East Garden, I have it trained as a climber. I've already pruned back the spent blooms, and it's a rebloomer, so I'll get new blooms soon. These Sally Holmes roses look like my hair in the morning. Looks good from a distance, but when you get up close, not so much. Tired looking. Time for a prune. Speaking of the roses, of course. I'm trying to trim back to a leaflet with at least 5 leaves on it. Like so. This one has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I got the first 2 done. I left the blooms that looked a little decent. Like that one still has some buds on it. I have my sprayer with my alcohol so I can spray between roses. And if I cut something that doesn't look healthy, I can spray my pruners before I start to prune again. These blooms still look pretty fresh, and there's a bud there, and there's some buds down there as well. Sally Holmes is a rebloomer, and she can be trained as a climber or a shrub, so I have her as a shrub on this south side. All 3 are done. I planted a Watchman hollyhock years ago, and this is obviously a self-seeder from that hollyhock. Boy, is that beautiful. Thanks for watching, and toodles!